Hello, fellow Wolverines, and welcome back to Wolf TV SportsCenter. My name is Audrey Setnar.
And I'm Zach Warshaw.
In this week's episode, we'll break down the last 2 weeks of Michigan sports, including the football games against Maryland and Ohio State, hockey's performances against Ohio State and Harvard, men's basketball's performance in the Players Era tournament against San Diego State, Auburn, and Gonzaga, women's basketball's games against Binghamton, UConn, Syracuse, and Detroit Mercy, and finally, women's volleyball's matches against Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC.
On Saturday, November 22nd, Michigan football traveled to College Park to take on the Maryland Terrapins at SECU Stadium. Maryland started the night with a sharp 75-yard touchdown drive to take an early 7-0 lead. But on the kickoff that followed, the Terrapins attempted an onside kick and Michigan was ready for it. The Wolverines recovered easily at the Maryland 47-yard line, setting up a quick response. Bryson Kuzdal handled most of the early work on the ground, and Bryce Underwood capped the drive by hitting Andrew Marsh for a 12-yard diving touchdown to tie the game. Michigan's offense kept rolling on its next drive. The Wolverines moved 83 yards down the field with key catches from Marsh and tight end Zach Marshall. Kuzdal finished the possession with a short rushing score to put Michigan up 14-7. On Maryland's next opportunity, a tipped pass fell into the hands of Michigan linebacker Mason Curtis, who returned the interception deep into Maryland territory. 3 plays later, Donovan McCulley took a screen pass into the end zone, stretching the Wolverine lead to 21-7. Maryland responded with a field goal before halftime, while Michigan missed a late attempt of its own, making it 21-10 at the break.
The Wolverines opened the second half with another strong drive, highlighted by a long catch from Marlon Klein. Kuzdal finished it with a 19-yard touchdown run. Later in the quarter, he added a 1-yard rushing score, his third touchdown of the game, to give Michigan full control at 35-13. In the fourth quarter, Michigan added another touchdown, this time on a tough 6-yard run from freshman Jasper Parker. Kicker Dominic Zavada then drilled a long field goal to push the lead even further. Maryland found the end zone once more, but Michigan closed out a comfortable 45-20 victory. Underwood threw 2 touchdowns in an efficient performance, while Kuzdal led the offense with an even 100 rushing yards and 3 scores. Marsh was the top target through the air for the second straight week. Michigan's defense limited Maryland's ground game all night and forced the key first-half interception, helping the Wolverines improve to 9-2 heading into the matchup with top-ranked Ohio State.
This past Saturday, November 29th, Michigan Wolverines returned home for their regular season finale, hosting that top-ranked Ohio school in front of more than 111,000 fans at Michigan Stadium. Michigan struck first on the opening drive of the game, thanks to Jordan Marshall breaking free for a long run that set up a 45-yard field goal from Dominic Zavada. On Ohio State's next possession, Michigan cornerback Jair Hill intercepted a pass that had been thrown to the sideline, giving the Wolverines the ball deep into Buckeye territory. However, the offense stalled out and Zavada was forced into another field goal, converting again, putting up Michigan ahead 6-0. Everything was downhill from there as Ohio State began to take control. The Buckeyes answered with a series of long, efficient drives, steadily moving the ball through the air and on the ground. Michigan struggled to maintain possession and found itself punting repeatedly. Unable to sustain drives or keep the offense off the field, Zavada added one more field goal midway through the second quarter, but Ohio State responded with a touchdown before halftime, sending Michigan into the locker room trailing 17-9.
In the second half, Ohio State extended the lead with a deep touchdown pass early in the third quarter. After that, the Buckeyes leaned heavily on their running game, keeping the ball away from the Wolverines and wearing down the Michigan defense. The Wolverines fought to stay in the game, but the offense continued to stall, and Michigan was held scoreless for the remainder of the afternoon. Linebacker Jimmy Rolder stood out defensively with several key tackles, and Hill's early interception set the tone for Michigan's strong start. But Ohio State's consistency on third down and Chip Lindsey's offense being unable to do damn near anything made the difference, as the Buckeyes stayed on the field while Michigan struggled to convert. When the clock ran out, Ohio State claimed a 27-9 win, snapping Michigan's 4-year streak in the game. With the regular season complete at 9-3, the Wolverines now turn their attention to the bowl selection and the chance to close the year with a strong postseason performance.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to the Cheez-It Bowl against Vanderbilt or somebody like that. Anyway, on November 21st, Michigan hosted Ohio State, the hockey team, at Yost Ice Arena in a rivalry matchup where the Wolverines won 5-2. 5 different Wolverines scored against the Buckeyes while recording 12 points. Michigan dominated in shots on net, but the scoreboard remained tight through 2 periods. Only in the third did they pull ahead, netting 2 goals and finishing the game with an empty netter. On Saturday, the teams met again for a rematch that was all Michigan, as they won 8-1. 14 Wolverines recorded points, with 7 having multi-point games. Ohio State scored a power play goal in the final minute of the game, spoiling the shutout, and the game marked Michigan's 100th all-time win over Ohio State.
In hopes to remain number 1, Michigan traveled to Harvard on November 28th for a non-conference matchup. This was the first time that the teams had met in Harvard's home rink in the history of the series, but the Wolverines weren't discouraged as they pulled away with a 5-1 victory. Harvard entered the game with the top penalty kill in the nation, but goal from freshman Cole McKinney put an end to it. On Saturday, the game was much closer, going into overtime, where freshman Will Horkoff was able to net the game-winning goal, resulting in a 4-3 contest. Horkoff, the nation's leading goal scorer, now sits at 18 goals through 18 games. Meanwhile, Michigan has 15 wins through 18 games for the 10th time in program history and first time since the 2007-2008 season. On December 5th and 6th, Michigan will finish out its first half of the season with a home-and-home series against Michigan State.
On November 24th in Las Vegas, Michigan opened the 2025 Players Era Festival with one of its sharpest performances of the young season, rolling past San Diego State 94-54 at Michelob Ultra Arena. The Wolverines used a balanced scoring effort with 6 players in double figures and held the Aztecs to just 27% shooting. Yaxel Lendeborg led the way with 15 points, while Morris Johnson Jr., Roddy Gale Jr., and Elliot Cadeau all added steady offense. Michigan's defense tightened even more after halftime, forcing turnovers and pulling away behind a series of second-chance buckets. The win pushed the Wolverines to 5-0 on the season. Just 24 hours later, on November 25th, Michigan kept its momentum going with a 102-72 rout of number 21 Auburn, marking its largest win over a ranked power conference opponent since the late 80s. The Wolverines jumped out to a fast start as Auburn opened the game 0-for-8 from the field, allowing Michigan to build a huge 59-31 halftime lead. Yaxel Lendeborg and Roddy Gale Jr. each scored 17 points, while Morris Johnson Jr., Namari Burnett, Trey McKinney, and LJ Kaysen joined them in double figures. Michigan's bench added 26 points, helping the Wolverines improve to 6-0 and advance to the Player Era's title game. The win also carried extra meaning for Michigan, serving as a bit of revenge after Auburn ended the Wolverines' season in the NCAA tournament last year.
Michigan entered the championship game on November 26th against number 12 Gonzaga as a slight underdog, with national sentiment leading toward the Bulldogs to take the title. But your Wolverines flipped that narrative immediately. Despite expectations of a tight matchup, Michigan came out blazing, hitting 10 of its first 12 shots and building a commanding 53-29 halftime lead. Their energy never dipped, turning stops into transition baskets and overwhelming Gonzaga on both ends of the floor. Yaxel Lendeborg, who had been steady all tournament, delivered a dominant MVP performance with 20 points and 11 rebounds, while Trey McKinney, Namari Burnett, Adai Mara, and Morez Johnson Jr. once again all added double-figure scoring. Elliot Cadeau controlled the game with 13 assists as Michigan's depth and defensive pressure smothered Gonzaga, who struggled from the field and never found a rhythm. By the final buzzer, the Wolverines had turned what many thought would be a close contest into a stunning 101-61 rout, their most emphatic statement yet in an unbeaten run through Las Vegas.
On Thursday, November 20th, the Michigan volleyball team faced off at Washington. The Wolverines dropped the first 2 sets at 19-25 and 27-29, but rallied to win sets 3 and 4 at 25-18 and 25-23 and force a set 5, which they won 15-13 to extend their win streak to 5 games. Standout performances came from Allison Jacobs with 24 kills, 2 aces, and 12 digs. Morgan Burke with 26 assists and 15 digs. Ella Demetrician with 18 kills, matching her career high, and 4 blocks, and Maddie Kukrin with 10 assists and 15 digs. Then, on Saturday, November 22nd, the Wolverines took on Oregon at Matthew Knight Arena. Michigan took the first set 27-25, but dropped set 2 18-25. Luckily, they were able to come back and finish the game in straight sets of 25-14 and 27-25. Allison Jacobs tallied over 20 kills for the second game in a row. Morgan Burke had 19 assists and 4 aces. Camille Edwards had 16 assists, 8 digs, and 2 aces. And Maddie Kukrin tallied 15 digs and 10 assists.
On Wednesday, November 26th, Michigan returned home for Thanksgiving week, facing off against UCLA at Chrysler Center. The Wolverines dropped the first set 15-25, but took 2 in a row at 25-16 and 25-13. Unfortunately, though, they were unable to pull another set to win the game, dropping sets 4 and 5, 22-25, and 7-15. The team faced a similar fate at home on Friday, November 28th against USC. The Trojans narrowly took sets 1 and 2 at 25-23 and 25-22, but the Wolverines were able to gain an edge, taking set 3 25-23, but they were unable to secure the win, dropping set 4 14-25. The Wolverines did, however, secure an at-large bid for the NCAA Division I championship this Sunday, November 30th. They will face off at Pitt's Peterson Events Center against Xavier, who fell to Creighton in the Big East Championship this Friday, December 5th at 4 p.m.
All right, that wasn't ideal, I'm not gonna lie. I had a plethora of 5-in-a-row jokes that I now can't use. But it was just overall not a great performance from everybody. And it was really highlighted by Ohio State just being a better team and them knowing that. For me, when Ryan Day declined the penalty on 3rd and 5, him saying, "You're not getting 5 yards," let alone 6, 7, it just was completely oh, we're not winning this game. He doesn't, they're so confident they're going to hold us to not even getting 5 yards that our field goals are all we're going to get.
I have no words for that game. I was optimistic in the first quarter, like all of us. And for us to not score in the second half at all was insane. I went home so depressed that night. Let me tell you, no one can rage bait me like those Ohio State fans. But on a different note, this basketball team, amazing. They are on fire.
Yeah, who cares about football? The basketball team is great. The display at the Players Tournament in Las Vegas was amazing. Just the absolute destruction of everyone who played, including Gonzaga, when they were like, this is going to be the greatest ranked matchup we've seen in a while, and we just destroyed them.
It was nothing.
I'm really impressed at how all the transfers are playing together. Yep. Everyone is really taking charge. Yax and Adai are just absolute.
They're unstoppable.
Yeah, it's like we have Area 51 again. We just got 2 big guys absolutely destroying the paint. So that's actually healing the absolute devastation of the Ohio State loss, because we have that to look forward to. We have hockey that's ranked number 1. We got other stuff going on.
Yes, and this team, they've had chemistry like I haven't seen, and this is with full respect to the 2013-2018 Michigan men's basketball team. I mean, for multiple players to have double figures with scoring, and for them, I mean, turnovers haven't been a big problem this year. They're absolutely insane. I can't say enough good things about them. And again, our hockey team being number 1, insane. Michigan sports, besides Michigan football currently, are amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Will Horkoff, Dakota Rom Mullen, Cole McKinney, and Asher Barnett for being named to the Team USA World Juniors team. That's pretty sick.
That'll be all for this week's episode of Wolf TV SportsCenter. I'm Audrey Setnar.
And I'm Zach Warshaw.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.